Welcome to Threshold, a place where we explore the sacred in the ordinary and the beauty in the in-between. I'm Molly Wilcox. I'm a wife, a mom, a writer, and your guide as we step over life's thresholds together. Whether you've been reading my newsletter for years or you're just discovering Threshold here, I'm so glad that you're listening. Together, we reflect on faith, creativity, and the small but meaningful ways we're being transformed in the everyday. Let's dive into this week's reflection. Over the last few weeks on my weekly newsletter, Threshold, through Substack, I've been sharing my new poetry collection that's called When Resurrection Weeps. It's a poetry memoir, or a story told through poems, and specifically about my journey into motherhood. It shares about the pregnancy and birth of my son, my pregnancy loss, and my journey through grief and lament. Now that the collection is fully released on my Substack, I wanted to record and share an audio version of the collection so that you can listen to the poems if that's something that is of interest. So today I'm going to read through the full collection, so feel free to pause whenever you need to stop and come back to it. Essentially, it's like a little audiobook of poems read to you by me. When Resurrection Weeps, Section 1, Breath. Then the Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground. He breathed the breath of life into the man's nostrils, and the man became a living person. Genesis 2:7. Before we named you. I tucked syllables in my pockets for someday. Seeds that may bloom, skin whispering at the seams. Maybe this body can hold more than just me. I made room for you, waiting in wonder, and like breath becomes prayer. One day, inhale. You were there. Exhale. The story of a stretched belly. I am earth. Breath meets dust beneath my ribs. Footprints press into softened skin, the clay of my body, marking and molding, a vessel being formed from within. The skin of my womb, signed with the press of heels, a soul formed in the dark, a sacred jar. When it empties, memory will stay, pressed into my sides, the pressure of presence, sealed like scripture, a life story written in my skin. Held breath. I pace with heavy feet, shifting, sitting, squatting. Where do I put my hands? Early labor, first time. It's unnatural and natural. A dichotomy. Music and mystic, medical and inconsistent. A pause. Tight turns loose. They say, don't forget to breathe. Breath prayer. They will have no fear. Inhale. Of bad news. Exhale. Their hearts are steadfast. Inhale. Trusting in the Lord. Exhale. I'm sorry, she says. Inhale. We have bad news. Exhale. The first cut of motherhood. Birth by unplanned C-section. 1. My body quaked, but my mind wondered, is this really it? How can you recognize a body you've never known? I begin to transform. Sounds slip out like an animal, new movements created. In a moment of primal panic, dignity is lost. Get this baby out of me. 2. Wrong. It's all wrong. My body was the first to know. They say, it's just hard, that's normal. No one can see inside of me. But my hand grips hospital bed in agony. One final check, then alarm. This is an emergency. 3. I stare up at fluorescent lights, my belly on the other side of a thin plastic sheet. This is my moment, but I can't even see. The room is sterile, everyone furrowed and focused. This isn't how it is supposed to be. Not for me. 4. Taking him out of me with a knife and pull felt like robbery. A gloved stranger's hands display my baby boy triumphantly. More hands, more hands, more hands. Finally, he touches me. He is there, then gone. 5. I wake up, drugged and drowsy. Someone please, I cry. Take me to my baby. And then the breath. A first act of life, broken open. A torn, ruptured lung, the rise and fall of a chest. Hills and valleys, rhythm ruptured, music frozen. X-rays show the whole, but I see the spirit hovering. It's the beginning. They can't call it peaceful, but still, I insist. It was holy. For Ira, we named you watchful, because I believed you would see God. I didn't know then what I know now. I see God by watching you. First latch on breastfeeding in the NICU. The room fakes rhythm, a chorus of beeps, lights blinking, machines, trying to make music, keeping time with newborn breath. Wires wander like roots, searching for soil around a fresh chest, a newborn bed. I am afraid to touch. Am I too soft, too hard, too human? Your mouth finds me, not gracefully, but urgently, finally together in a place of plastic and protocol, skin to skin, soil, breath, milk. Here you root. It's time to grow. To my NICU baby. You passed the car seat test. You're eating enough too. The hole slowly resolved itself, and your breath found a pace that felt like clouds clearing after a storm. So we take our graduation photo, then another in front of the hospital. We tuck you into your car seat. No monitors this time. Just two unsure parents driving into a world we no longer pretend to control. Your chest rises, both a miracle and a mystery. In the rearview mirror, I have more questions than answers, but when I think of healing, I think of you. Who will hold me on leaving the NICU? I won't miss the hospital pump or the way breathing monitors scream when I try to hold my baby. I won't miss the visitors' rules or scrubbing my hands or waddling down hospital halls, almost sleepwalking. But I'll miss the lactation consultant who watched with care saying, "You're doing great." I'll miss the nurse who said, "You need some rest too, Mama. I'll watch him. I promise he will be okay." I'll miss the midwife who said, "Sit down for just a minute. Put your feet up. You're healing too." At home, I can hold him without asking, but I miss the ones who held me too. After birth. A sudden storm in Middle Tennessee rolls in with rain, thunder, and flashes of lightning. The trees shake and shudder while inside I light a candle, weeping. I hold the weather in my body, new, unfamiliar. My life turned from woman to mother. I want to be rooted. Can the trees teach me how to bury myself deep? When grief pours and sorrow blows, where can I go? A midnight liturgy. My bare feet touch down on carpet, quick to reply to midnight cries. I'm here, I whisper, pulling your body close to mine. The moon stands still while I rock, creating rhythm through the night. Darkness surrounds us, this tiny moment that is yours and mine, pure light. I watch your face soften, eyelids fall and hands unclench. I did nothing but offer my body, this mystery, that I am what you need. The maternal instinct. I don't think I have it. A postpartum brain is a battlefield. How many times did the baby breathe? Can I stay up all night, counting, watching? Or am I allowed to sleep? The stairs, my worst enemy. What if I drop him? Who left me here? And why do I feel so alone? I'm not good at this. Crying. Not the baby. The tears. They are mine. Why didn't they warn me? Bleeding and becoming. If you weren't ripped wide open, if you weren't sewn back together, if you don't have a scar, or if you weren't cut with a knife, if you don't have spit-up stains or milk stains or red swollen nipples, if you don't have blood clots dropping, or if your body isn't marked by little jagged cracks or isn't stretched a few foreign sizes too big, then I'm happy for you. But if motherhood tore you to pieces, left you hunting for body, spirit, and soul, if your tears felt like a baptism and your blood spilled like salvation, if you're made in a new image, born again, unrecognizable, and it took scars, stitches, stains, swelling, stretching, and surviving, I'm happy for us too. Contact naps. My body became a bed, beckoning a baby to sleep, a quilt of breath and heartbeat, rhythmically rocking, knowing this is not all that I am, but in this moment with threads of skin and warmth stitched between us, I soften. Feathered as an offering is the best I can be when the world still sleeps. The morning light shines through the window when I feel lonely in my lack of sleep. All night I sit in this rocker, my gift, my body to nurture. I stay alert, always ready, in the quiet early morning. I wonder, are there other mothers who hold and rock at the ready, awake with me? A song I had to learn. I try to sing my baby to sleep, but no soft, light melodies find their way to me. So I tell him how the moon sees us, the way the stars each have a name. I whisper about angels nearby, silent but watching. You don't need to be afraid. I watch his eyes grow heavy, his head snuggles into me. I stitch together a story, held inside, just waiting. ready to comfort him to sleep. Section 2. Blood. For the life of the body is in its blood. Leviticus 17:11a. The body that carried me. I pull my hands down, showing my son the sign for rain, while we watch it, falling harder and faster, huddled in the garage as puddles form. He escapes my grip, makes a big splash, turns to look at me with a satisfied grin, stomping his feet. There were puddles every day in Galway when I pulled my hair out of a ponytail, shook it down, and took off down the street. Pay for a latte at the cafe, on the corner, and walk. My only company, a raincoat, and the rhythmic splashing of my feet. In Colorado, the earth felt like it crumbled under my feet. Every step stamped my name on mountaintops, and rocks gave way as if they would remember me. Then I walked around slow, a fresh scar on my belly, a tender new soul entrusted to me, constantly reliving my near miss. The neon lights above me, the blue gloves, a flurry, the mechanic flashing and beeping alongside hard-fought breaths and tender heartbeats. My therapist asks me, what part of your body feels safe to you? What part do you trust? I shift around, wanting to scream. On repeat, I hear, your body was made to do this. But I am trapped in the body that couldn't. Not for me, not for us. Ashamed, I look down, then whisper, my feet. What if I loved this body? What if I loved this body even more? What if I loved the way it turned from taut to loose when it stretched and grew to make space so wide it held more wonder than the black sky full of little lights reflecting on rhythmic waves? What if I loved it for the waves that crashed and came until they stopped, replaced by beeps, flashing lights, bright gloved hands, all rushing because of how it spoke in uncontrollable gasps and terrible pain? What if I loved the lines all along my ever-changing thighs, for weight they carried and marks they left to remind me how equally heavy the loneliness and magic was when I was the only one in the world able to hold the weight of wonder? What if I loved this body more for the way it ballooned itself out only to be emptied and abandoned, a slim purple line, my proof? What if I loved the mark while I describe what once was like the summer air turned to a crisp fall breeze? Today, I run my finger around stretch marks, a tender scar, a space that grew, carried, surrendered, this body's mysterious story told by my hieroglyphics. In the mirror, I only catch a glimpse, knowing tomorrow will be different. I wonder, what if then I love this body even more? Ode to my C-section scar. The first time I saw you, I looked away, as if not seeing could keep a story untold. How can this be my body? Surgical glue, yellow, crusty, sticking on my belly and thighs. Melting off the remnants, my hands refuse to trace you. They tell me to let soap and water run by. I watch the fresh, bloody wound on my puffy, unfamiliar core, standing naked and ashamed under the hospital shower, bitter at the body that couldn't birth. Dear God, I pray, erase this scar. Let it disappear from my broken body. Take this story with you too. Echoes of, he's here and healthy now, swirl around while I coat you in remedies, pull my abdomen in with a belly band and wince, wishing you away. No one understands. It's been over a year now. My finger runs over the faint, thin line, just a little crooked, my body's embroidery. I imagine reaching out in response to Jesus' invitation. Come touch my hands. Come touch my sides. His resurrected body with marks and lines like mine. If heaven makes all things new, let me keep this body, I pray, not as proof of brokenness, but as proof of love that knows life is found in sacrifice. He calls me Mama. He gave me a new name, and all things became new in me. My hours are not mine, my body not my own, and yet I've never been more me. I lose sleep, control, and all my plans to the name I'm called by a tiny boy. That name belongs only to him, the one who collapses into my arms, his safest place. When I hear, your body is a temple, I finally believe. To Mary at the cross. When you kissed dirty, bloody, full-grown feet while the cry of, my God, why have you forsaken me?" echoed through the darkness, pinned against pine, and the earth held its breath, did you think of a savior, or did you tumble back in time to soft, beautiful newborn feet, rushes of blood and water, first breaths, fresh cries, your body broken, milk pouring out, take and eat, whispered in the night. They all watched his death. They called it brutal. But I wonder, were you counting breaths, watching a chest rise, kissing feet? Brutal and beautiful. It's not your first time. High risk. When I finally got the diagnosis, it dragged me under like a riptide. I gasped, how did I survive this once? And now, how would I ever survive it again? But longing nags. It persists. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. I'm already sick. This desire to grow another baby, even with this condition, always high risk. A part of me says it'll be punishment, forcing my body to go through it again. Why do I want to do this again? There is a boy who stops to smell every flower, even weeds. He touches a dandelion like treasure and blows to let seeds float to the sky. His eyes meet mine and he says, Mama, while he points with wonder. I wonder too, how did I ever exist without you? So I insist. I do it all again, over and over and over again, for this. My second pregnancy. 1. I stood in the bathroom watching, as white space welcomed pink lines, and I knew. I wasn't alone. I looked down at the wonder of a flat belly that holds the tiniest life, and for a moment, I am the only one in the world who knows this life, my cherished secret. My baby is like a planted seed, burrowed in the ground of my belly. I wait and watch and wonder, looking for the sprouts to show. 2. Fear enters through counting days, keeping watch over symptoms. I know my odds, my statistics, but another part of me wells up with faith. I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered. Soon, puke bags are my accessory, alongside saltine crackers and Dramamine. My first prescription comes at 5 weeks, earlier than last time. They did warn me. Still, a part of me feels full of control. I ask midwives for help, and this time, they listen. 3. I am always nauseous. I love my bed. I take a lot of pills. I hire a nanny. I miss time with my son. It's all worth it, for this, for us, our growing family. I am an olive tree, prepared for the desert, rooted and watered, ready for this harsh climate. Instead, winter came. My miscarriage in haikus. I printed photos of a little heart beating. Still, it went silent. I cried every tear. Handing me tissue, he said, "It isn't your fault." I said a prayer. I wondered if God could hear, see my misery. They said, miscarriage. My baby is gone, and I miss carrying you. Winter inside. Roses bloom outside the window, and cardinals build nests nearby. I walk to the mailbox listening, life swelling all around me, while the baby in my womb has died. Another kind of miracle. The day we watched a light flicker on the ultrasound screen, I tasted glory, my burning bush, an angel in the room. Everyone else doubted, but I believed. I have tasted, I have seen. Worship all week until I started to bleed. I thought we saw a miracle. I confessed, the bitter taste of tragedy on my tongue. Life is a miracle, just a whisper. He numbers our days, the beats of our hearts, dust into breath. My womb in the spring. The dogwoods bloom like they've forgotten how winter pressed the world to sleep. Sunlight folds itself across my porch, where birds sing songs, mocking me. Blood, not holy or sacrificial, just an early, hopeless sign. A sacred seal split open. Shaky hands and forgotten prayers became mine. I joined the chorus of mourning mothers as Easter Day approaches. My body, a borrowed tomb. A tiny, fluttering heartbeat went silent in my womb. When resurrection weeps. They sang, "He is risen," while I bled into a thick pad beneath my Sunday dress. Pastel colors flood the room, and outside, flowers bloom. While everyone celebrates an empty tomb, I grieve with hopeless wonder, echoes of empty, 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 cradled in my womb. The question I ask on Easter. I want to be able to declare, death doesn't have the final say, but rumbling in the depths, I can't choke or swallow or destroy. The gut-wrenched whispers winding within me like weeds, stretching out through my mouth. There is a cry, a confession. One last time, I try to drown it, but still it rises, bursting with a voice. But what if it does? In response, you stretch out your hand. You don't see accusations, just pure, honest faith. If all the moms missing babies cried together. Halfway around the world, there is a mom I don't know. She touches her little baby's head, careful, hesitant, with nurses watching over her shoulder, monitors blinking, the clinical signs of protection. But she whispers a prayer that somehow finds me, another mother, who prays for her little baby. I pray, the body of my own baby, still within my body, heartbeat silent. In a few days, my body will move. It will remember. It will birth without a body left to hold. We pray, but in a few days, word travels. Her baby is gone. I longingly look to heaven, this maternal grief and ache. A sacred storm moves across oceans, across time. Every tear pours into a river, running strong. She is like me. We carry sorrow together. Alone, we would drown. Fragments of miscarriage. 1. Something is broken. My hands shovel glass, pieces containing little versions of me. Something is broken. My body starts to speak. My mind argues back, impossible, and my soul begins to weep. 2. Everything is broken. The doctor says, no heartbeat. Fluorescent lights shine down. I'm naked under a sheet. Everything is broken. Clumps of dark red tangled with my trust. One more sigh, a prayer. Cold feet pressed into tile. There, I flush. 3. I am broken. I stare back at a flat version of me. Eyes swollen, body worn. Is it us? I ask her. But she's in pieces. Blood and water. I touch my crampy belly under the steaming shower while blood and water wash together down the drain. The cotton towel stains and my foggy reflection longs for innocence but refuses to look away. Dark chocolate, flowers, candles, and home-cooked meals chant, I'm sorry, from every corner of our home. I sit alone in tears and wonder, why aren't you in here anymore? Sunday still came. On Friday, I felt your too young body pass through mine. I winced, I cried, then I flushed, my holy grief hidden. On Saturday, darkness covered my world. I bled, I fought God, I asked why, hundreds, thousands, millions of times. I heard nothing, the silence an unbearable answer. On Sunday, dew rested on the ground. I longed to walk with you, barefoot through a garden bursting with blooms that never wilt. I want a day pass through the gates, but instead I watch the sunset, focused on breathing and praying where you are. It always feels like a Sunday. The day after. Mornings still hurt, more than I expect. Coffee tastes different. Light moves across the kitchen floor. It feels too soft, too tender, misplaced. Grief doesn't announce itself. It curls up beside me, stares with me at soft light when all my world is shadow. I wonder how. Light always returns. One day folds into the next. Today I soak in sadness, but tomorrow there will be another morning, a sunrise, a Sunday. Section 3. Tears. Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. To my lost baby. I find myself wanting to talk about you, even though I never knew what you were like. I want to tell strangers the story of the baby I held inside, but it floats away from my fingers, another yearning I can't hold in this life. Finding words feels impossible, so I mumble with tears and whispers, because all I know is a flicker of light, your heartbeat that danced for one night. Does heaven have a crib? Before pink lines appeared, I already started to daydream, the Moses basket ready. Soon our music would be a rocking chair creaking, wrapping swaddles, soft lullabies, the white noise, heartbeats. But the baby lamb patterned sheets traded for golden streets. Lullabies became Alleluia melodies. Blackout curtains, nightlights, and sound machines aren't needed in the glow of a light that never fades. I never got to rock you to sleep. Peace like a river covered you in rest. My expectant lullabies turned to reluctant prayers. You'll never cry a tear. I'm thankful in a way, but grief tugs, asking why an angel holds you there. When I imagine a mopal of clouds above your head, spun with stars and hung with grace, sometimes I wish you could have seen the one I had planned for you instead. Things people said. You're still sad about that? It's unhealthy to view yourself as a victim. Try harder. One day you'll be thankful. I don't think it will matter as much with time. Get some rest. Next time we'll make up for it. Was it that bad? Everything will turn out fine in the end. Crying doesn't do anything. Maybe you need a hobby. Have you prayed about it? I don't think she said that. Maybe you heard wrong. It was exactly as it was meant to be. Sounds like you're looking for a scientific solution to a spiritual problem. You're so sensitive. Birth is just hard. That's normal. This is all part of God's plan. Things people didn't say. God weeps with you. The bleeding never ends. The blood began when I welcomed pain into my body, early labor until they cut me open to save him, and I bled. My body split wide without my permission. But light always starts in darkness, and hope appeared in 2 little pink lines. The blood returned, a slow undoing. My body whispered, lost. Blood always tells the truth. No blood, no proof. An ache in my chest, a weight under my eyes, an empty womb. I try to hold hope in my heart, but it won't stay. It runs out like rivers to the sea. My body stopped bleeding, but my heart stopped trusting me. Another one. In plastic park swings, with iced coffee swirling, they chatter about how it's just so hard, going from 1 kid to 2, while babies were born and big kids climbed high. Think you'll have another? They turn to ask me, assuming I only have 1. I already do, I say, watching the sky, full of pain and wonder as the clouds keep floating by. The first Mother's Day after. Flowers and brunch, I balance my boy on my hip, while balancing the grief of another baby whose name only I know. Inside, there is a quiet storm of grief, taking up residence instead of the baby, who I held in here a few weeks before. I try to muster up gratitude for my perfect sun-kissed boy. But rain still falls inside of me, because I can't be with both of my babies. Motherhood today has trapped me in the unending land of grief, this purgatory of life in between. Missing one. We took a picture after church, my hair curled, his little feet happily kicking, toes poking out of sandals, already too small. It's the kind you're supposed to post with words like, thankful for the gift of motherhood. Thankful, I am. I really am. But someone was missing, like the breath I held, a name unspoken, a space I still feel. Maybe I'm the only one who still sees 2. This is the picture I didn't post. A boy in my arms, a baby in heaven, and a longing mother, still wondering, why can't she hold them both? Breath into wilderness. In the mirror, I turn sideways, my abdomen long and flat, a never-ending wilderness. But I fill it with breath, push it out as far as it reaches. Just imagine. My breath releases. A glimpse of the feeling of being full deflates. Right now, it's just a memory. My hand rests on it, my silent womb, empty, as if anointing, a breath prayer. Pregnancy announcements. They said, we're pregnant, with smiles stretching across glowing faces, joy spilling before words could settle. They looked at us, watching for delight. A flat congratulations from my husband. I bit back tears and burned with shame. They share about the first ultrasound. Perfect. And suddenly I am no longer there. I am back at mine. In the parking lot, after seeing a heartbeat, holding my husband's hand excitedly, ready to start the registry, debating baby names. New life. I believed in everything. Now it burns like fire. Warmth, then destruction. They think I'm cold. They don't know. I'm standing in the ashes of memories. I search for joy in the remnants, as if one day, underneath the rubble of grief, I will find light again. Pregnancy tests. If you look long enough, lines will appear, but the mind plays tricks and shows things that aren't really there. Every twinge feels like a promise, a tiny cramp becomes an oath, and then there are no lines. I am left with longing, wanting. Like a seed that never took root, I keep watering the soil, watching, as if, as the seasons changed, my eyes and care could force something to bloom. Not showing. By now, I would have been showing, a round belly, a silent announcement, known to the world as mother, seen not just as one, but as 2. Strangers would pause, hold doors, smile knowingly, thinking, I've been there too. Instead, I am invisible. I ache with emptiness while the world spins fast and no one sees what used to be. Stages of grief. 1. denial. Before the ultrasound tech looked inside me, I told her, "We already saw the heartbeat. That makes the odds less than 10%. It can't be happening," I said. "Not to me." 2. Anger. Was it the coffee I still drank each morning, or the supplement I took last night? Or did I take a shower too hot? Or did I forget to pray? Or not pray long and hard enough? I sit and try to point fingers, but I still feel like I'm to blame. 3. Bargaining. Next time, I'll be like Hannah. I'll talk to God and devote my child to the Lord. Then he will give me a healthy pregnancy, a baby, maybe even twins. God, what do you want from me? Anything. I'll do anything. 4. Depression. I sit tangled up in my bed again, telling my husband I'm sick. It's summer, but I'm in sweatpants. I'm tired of being resilient. Life moves on outside of me, but here I drown in my sadness and bed sheets. 5. Acceptance. There's a chrysanthemum on my necklace, the birth month of the baby I never got to hold. Chrysanthemums bloom in winter months, a whisper of life in a world that's cold. I'm not sure I can endure another frost, but defiant chrysanthemums declare hope in loss. How to heal. Things that soften the sting. Hot shower steam, a cup of chamomile tea, friends who sit and say, "It shouldn't be this way," seeing how the sun still softens, dancing through trees in Middle Tennessee. Singing the itsy bitsy spider, toddler giggles and spins until a dizzy dancer falls. Watching the dog chase a bunny, burying my feet in the grass, as if I can be planted. Seeing grief as a companion instead of an enemy, talking about the weight of absence in my ribs, acknowledging the sadness hovering like mysterious shadows, crying so my tears can water my soul. Maybe I can still grow. A 3-day story in haikus. Frost lasts for too long, underneath the solid ground, roots whisper of spring. Bitter at my God, my sorrow stole goodness, but he was beside me. Buried in darkness, it seems the battle is won, but there the light grew. On marriage after loss. I feel guilty. It's not my fault, but there's so much I need. Help with the toddler, time with the heating pad, oh, and I can't cook dinner. Can you tell them and them so they stop talking about babies and pregnancies around me? I mean, us. I want dark chocolate and sleep, but I have nightmares and sometimes I need you so close, but also, can I have some space and please don't touch me? Will you hold my hand now? Remember this photo we took? Maybe we can name our baby. Let's keep it a secret. What do you think heaven will be like? I hope there, like here, it's collapsing into each other after another bad day and laughing through tears over more dinners of leftovers. I hope it's still you and me. Trying to conceive after loss. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Seneca. I want another baby, but I wanted my last baby too. My body feels broken when it remembers. Blood, contractions, emptying itself out in the bathroom. Am I too broken to birth again so soon? If my body becomes another home, will it forget who left? Poured out like prayer. I feel hollow, cursed. I whisper prayers, knowing nothing will undo this. My baby is not here. I can't pull down heaven, no matter how I plead. But maybe my womb will exhale, open again, the spirit hovering over the deep. Breathe life when all feels lost. Make a home of me. The dark night of the soul. I don't like being alone at night. Night swallows me and I feel like a scared kid again, keeping toast away from the edge of the bed or sheepishly asking my mom to sleep beside me. My soul stands firmly in the dark. God, help me build a fire, I pray. Don't let the night consume me. I think about it, night and sleep. The day is yours, and yours also the night. You established the sun and moon. I am used to silence now, but bear the spirit whispers. Night isn't meant for fear. It's made for healing. When God mothers. When God mothers, there is a sway, a hum, a cradle. A prayer answered like a lullaby, a shelter made by a body poured out. Mothers stay alert. Nothing is unnoticed. Watchful, my whole being waits. Without words, he listens. Groans and breath. Ask, you'll receive. But ever-present love already knows. Thank you so much for listening to When Resurrection Weeps. I'm so excited to get to share poetry for the first time on my Substack. If you want to return to it and read it for yourself, it's available on my Substack. And if you want to say thanks, you are welcome to buy me a coffee. There is a link to my Buy Me a Coffee in the show notes. Thanks again, and I will see you next week. Thanks for spending time with me today on Threshold. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, subscribe, or leave a review. It all helps so much. And if you're not already part of the community, you can join the conversation by subscribing to my weekly newsletter on Substack, Threshold by mollywilcox.substack.com. Until next time, let's keep finding beauty in the in-between.